on the News Channel 5 network. This is Countdown to Friday, sponsored by Zander Insurance.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Zander Insurance Countdown to Friday. It's Hump Day Eve, so you know what that means. B-Hop and Mo for the next 60 minutes. We've got an action-packed show to get into today, Mo. We've got a recap and review where we run around some of the Mid-States games, tell you about those, tell you which ones to look for on Friday. We've got an awesome segment, B-Hop and Mo on the go, where we went and visited Maurice Fitzgerald from Stratford High School, got a few conversational words with him. We'll come back in the middle of the show and talk about some peak performances brought to you by Pull Apart, tell you some of the kids that were doing some news and noteworthy type stuff, plus getting to the rankings through all of the classes right here on the show. And of course, then we're going to go out and talk to Michael Coleman. He's a former Stratford standout, not only in baseball, but also in football. Played a couple of years with the Red Sox, also played with the Yankees. So we're going to have a baseball discussion with him, and then we'll come back to wrap up the show with all kinds of good stuff. So let's start our recap and review, Maurice, with Watertown at Forest. This is the game that we talked about at the beginning of the season, or the end of the show last week. 16-play drive. They didn't come off the floor, off the field in the fourth quarter, did they?
Yeah, and you know, you rarely see that kind of a drive at the high school level.
Right.
I mean, 16 plays, 93 yards. You expect somebody to make a turnover or do something and break that up, but Forest marched it right down the field against Watertown, and they had gotten down 21-7 early in this ball game. Again, as we talked about last week, two undefeated teams, both of them at the top of Region 4-2A, both come in 6-0 overall. Watertown throws it all over the place early on. Seth Price had a really nice first half, 10 of 12, 156 yards, got up on him. Forest stayed in it, got a big 26-yard touchdown run from Slayton Wild to tie the game up late in the second quarter. Took it into the fourth, tied 28-28. Again, Forest 16 plays, 93 yards. Jacob Jones scores his second touchdown of the night with about 34 seconds left, and Watertown can't do anything the rest of the way. Forest gets out with a big win.
Sounds like a close game. How about Beach at Gallatin? I know that was a pretty close match there with the 4 points being the differential at the end. What happened?
28-24 Beach final. Beach had gotten down, well, they led 14-9, got up 24-14 in the third quarter. I'm sorry. Beach led 14-9, got down 24-14. There we go.
Okay, you got it. Now you got your stuff squared away. That's
they scored a couple of times late. Alex Van Zant goes in from the one to win it, and another great game in Region 6-5A, another great Sumner County rivalry up there. Anytime those two teams get together, as we talked about last week, throw the records out the window. But Beach stays close to the top of that region, and Gallatin's right in the hunt as well. That was their first loss in region play.
So the Panthers thought that they might be able to get one on the old Firebirds of Pearl Cone there, right? And we talked to Tony Bernetti earlier in the year, and we know that he gets his kids ready to play, and that's probably why they beat them 52-7. I mean, what was the score like? I mean, was that indicative of the whole game itself?
Yeah,
or what
I think so. I mean, Maplewood turned it over the first time they had the ball off the opening kickoff. Pearl Cone goes in and scores. I think they were up 19-0 before Maplewood really got a chance to get their feet set. So it was just an all night long kind of thing for Pearl Cone. They I think kind of took a little offense to Maplewood coming in there with the record that they did. I mean, Maplewood was 5-1 overall, 2-0 in the region, same as Pearl Cone, and Pearl Cone just asserted their will all night.
How about Jamarius Parker on special teams?
Just did what he does, 58-yard punt return for a touchdown, scored twice on the ground as well. He is an electric kid.
Yeah, he really is. All right, let's move on to the review segment of the whole this part of the segment when we talk about games that you need to be paying attention to this week. Brentwood Academy at MBA. Now, we've actually talked to the MBA coach, and we know what kind of program they actually put on right there, but this is going to be a tough, hard battle between those in the Division II AA, am I right?
Obviously. I mean, these two played for the state championship last year. Brentwood Academy won the regular season matchup 48-14. They won 56-55 in overtime in the state finals, so these two go at it. Brentwood Academy coming off of a big win against Ensworth last week. MBA won last week against Pope John Paul II. So, you know, these guys have kind of been on a collision course all year. Neither of them has lost to an in-state opponent. Brentwood Academy lost to Louisville Trinity earlier in the year.
Right.
MBA opened the year losing to Hewitt-Trussville out of Alabama. So this is a big one.
How about the Division II AA? Does it still hold the same kind of water that it once did? Does it still have its luster? What do you think?
I think so. I think that you just look at some of the athletes at this level and the competitiveness of these teams. Again, Brentwood Academy's got a great running back. Mario Pleasant went for 105 last week in that win against Ensworth. They've got the quarterback, Jeremiah Oatsvall, who is committed to Austin Peay. Obviously, MBA has Ty Chandler, UT commit, went for 203 yards and 4 touchdowns last week. And they've got a solid defense. They've got a linebacker over there, Logan Cashwell, who has forced 5 fumbles. So obviously this kid will hit you.
Yeah, see, I like it when we get the matchups basically with the Division I commits, because then they'll look back at these games like when they're playing college and be like, oh, yeah, I remember when we whooped your butt over there at Vanderbilt Stadium, back in the day. That kind of stuff. So for bragging rights.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move on. How about Good Pasture at Stratford? Obviously, we're talking about Stratford's program. We caught up with the cool coach out there just a little bit yesterday, as a matter of fact. So we'll be talking a little bit more about with him, but just tell us a little bit about this game and what to expect.
Well, Good Pasture is coming in. They're 5-1. They've won 5 straight after losing their season opener against BGA, which was their 22nd consecutive loss. So they've really bounced back out of that long losing streak. You said you heard one kid that said he hadn't won since his freshman year. So so that's big for them. They're on they're on a roll right now and playing really well. Had a 6-0 win over Lipscomb a couple of weeks ago. Stratford 7-0 overall, 3-0 in the region. They're ranked number 5 in Class 3A. Playing really well. Had to really fight to get a 7-6 win against CPA last week, though. Yeah. So I think it's going to be kind of interesting to see which Stratford team shows up this Friday night.
Real quick, we got one more, Wilson Central at Franklin. What do you see in there in about 30 seconds?
Big Region 3-6A game. Franklin's won their last 5. Wilson Central dropped one to Mount Juliet a couple of weeks ago, bounced back with a big win against Lebanon. 2 really good ball clubs.
Absolutely. Hey, look, we got to take a break. When we come back, B-Hop and Mo in the Go went and visited Stratford High School. Coach Maurice Fitzgerald was one of our obviously cool guests. And as we go to the break, take a look at Stewart's Creek at Independence. Stick around. More from B-Hop and Mo in the Go in just a minute.